Welcome to BELLOMag.com. Anthony Bourdain here on the set of The Taste. How's it going this year, season 3?
Going well.
Yeah?
Going well.
Yeah.
Nerve-wracking.
Being a mentor and a judge, I myself, I've got to say, I'm a terrible, terrible cook. And I kind of think it's one of those things you've either got or you don't have. Would you agree or disagree with that? Or do you think it's something people can learn?
No, I think cooking is something you can learn. I think the way most professionals learn is repetition, 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 doing it badly and then a little bit less badly. And then it's a character issue. If you have the character to persevere and a love of eating and the will, yeah, you can be taught to cook. Can you be taught to cook consistently under pressure?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Right.
But I think I don't think that it's something that you're born with necessarily.
Right.
I think there are probably a few people out there who just can't and never will. But for the most part, I think anyone who's pure of heart and loves to eat can, in fact, be taught to cook.
Yeah, and I know you like to kind of lift the screen, don't you, as far as professional kitchens are concerned, and let people know kind of what you call the darker side of that sort of thing. I mean, I could never survive in like a professional kitchen. I've been seeing it, just on the TV. It looks like a nightmare. I mean, how can you even get creative and stuff in an environment like that?
I don't know. I mean, there's two types of people in this world: the people who love the sort of the chaos and the pressure and the badness and the multitasking of the subculture of kitchens, and then there are normal people. I loved it. I think it's a great business, and like the people in it, obviously.
Yeah.
But it takes a certain sort of person to want to live that life, where there is nothing but food and people who work with food.
That's clearly, literally, food has taken you all over the world.
It's worked out pretty well for me.
Yeah. Where's left for you, though? I mean, obviously, you've kind of touched most kind of areas, haven't you, in big cities and remote places. And is there somewhere in your head you think, I haven't been there yet, I've got my eye on that, I'd like to go there?
Well, we'll go into Iran shortly. I mean, I just came back, but we're airing a show that's set in Iran that I'm really proud of, and not a lot of people have seen what it's like there and what their food is like. Look, it's a big world. There's a lot of really amazing, interesting, awesome stuff in it, and also there are places I've been before, like China. Well, China's big. I could spend the rest of my life just going there and making television shows in China about Chinese food, and I'd still die ignorant having seen only a tiny little piece.
Yeah, yeah. And I was reading somewhere, like, you've got a couple of things that you consider to be like your most revolting and disgusting meals that you've ever had. Mm-hmm. One was it an anus of an animal or something?
No. I mean, look, there's the French make a really good sausage from anus. It's very popular.
I just don't know if I would fancy that. You literally eat anything on your shows, though, don't you? It's amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, ask yourself, it depends, where you're looking from. I mean, the Thais are not a dairy culture. So imagine what cottage cheese looks like to them, or blue cheese dressing, mm-hmm. or gigantic Americans chawing down on donuts bigger than their heads. Just really kind of where you're sitting, what is gross. Most of the world are insectivores. They eat insects. Yeah. And that's the majority of the world.
Well, listen, good luck with the show. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon. Thank you. Welcome to BELLOMag.com, Ludo Lefebvre, and the set of The Taste. Very excited.
Welcome.
Thank you, and bonjour.
Bonjour.
Tell us how this show's going, though, because I know there's always a lot of rivalry between you and the other mentors and judges.
The show's going well.
Yeah.
It's a competition between contestants and between the mentor.
Yeah.
It's two competition in one show, trust me.
Yeah.
I have two mentors, Anthony and Marcus, who want to beat me because
you were the winner last time.
Because I destroyed them last season.
Yeah, and being British, I know you also won the British version of The Taste. So your head, you can't get through the door. You're so excited to be back, and you're going to win again.
Of course, nobody beat me on this game. I'm the best mentor. You understand?
or in life. Mm-hmm. And you're looking stylish again. I know that's a big thing for you on The Taste. What's your look all about this time?
Very simple. My friend Waren is my stylish, and I told him, Do you know the English soccer player called David Beckham?
Uh-huh.
I want to be dressed like him. That's it.
Really? That was it? David Beckham?
That's it. Yeah. It's very difficult for French guys to say that. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So looking about the English.
I get it. I know you don't
Okay.
like the Brits. And when you're not here at the Taste, when you're at home and you know you're cooking for your family, what sort of things do you like to cook? Is there anything like in particular, or do you try and stay away from the kitchen?
No, I cook a lot. You know, I love to cook breakfast for my kid. I do a lot of omelette with cheese. They love it.
Yeah.
The real French omelette. Okay,
Yeah.
the real one.
What makes it French?
The technique, I would say. You know,
Really?
the technique. Yeah.
Different technique.
Yeah, most people, you know, always do an omelette like more like a crepe or like a fritas.
Yeah.
You know, no, a real French omelette is
I need
very.
to sample a
you need
French
to be-
omelette then.
You need to be gentle, no coloration. You beat your eggs. You need to be patient.
Yeah.
It's.
Somehow I can't
It's
imagine you
so-
being gentle in the kitchen. I don't feel like the two things go together, but maybe I'm
I am
wrong.
gentle. You know?
You are?
Yeah, I am. I'm very gentle. You
Gentle
know?
with his eggs,
It's just the eggs, yes. People say I scream in the kitchen, but I don't.
right?
I never scream for nothing. And actually, I don't scream. I express myself.
Right.
It's different.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, good luck with the competition this year. I've got a good feeling for you. It could be third time lucky.
Of course. I mean, come on. Come
No
on.
co-
You think
no
I'm gonna go down?
competition, is there?
Seriously? Come on. I'm not a rookie, okay? Uh-huh.
Well, good luck. Thanks for
Merci,
joining us on
thank you.
Bello.
Thank you very
See
much.
soon. Welcome to bellomag.com. Marcus Samuelsson, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having us.
No, of course. And we're here on the set of The Taste. How's it going this season?
Good. You know, it's always tough. You know, Ludo is just like loud and in it, which is great.
Yeah.
Tony is like you play chess and poker at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't give you anything. He's just like boom, takes. And then Nigella is just elegant and wonderful, and she's my auntie, and I'm just next to her all the time.
I love the fact that you're all so different, though. That's great.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you mentor in different ways? Have you got your own styles?
Oh, absolutely.
Does Ludo just shout at them all?
No, I mean, you know, I love Ludo because we're chefs. Both Ludo and I are chefs, so our energy and our starting point is very much the same. But then our flavor profile is pretty different. You know, flavor style, I'm probably more like Tony. The fact that I've traveled and lived all over the world, so he likes Southeast Asian food. I love that as well. You know, I've traveled all over South America, so has Tony. So I would say cooking-wise, maybe me and Ludo are more similar, but flavor-wise, I would definitely lean more towards Tony.
Gotcha. I mean, you're from such an interesting background. The fact you're from Ethiopia, you were raised in Sweden, and now you're living in America.
Yeah.
How's that influenced your cooking and your style of cooking?
Everything. I just feel so grateful to have I have 3 windows into all around food, but they're really, you know, living in New York, just like LA, it's very diverse, right? But, you know, sometimes I think about things the way I was raised in Sweden, and that helps me in many ways. So I can understand Scandinavian, I understand that point of view sometimes, but also being from Africa gives me a lot of warmth and a lot of energy and a love for curries and delicious food. So I just look at it as a luxury to have the opportunity to be invited into 3 different cultures.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, I'm really an American at this point, you know?
Yeah, right. Well, me too. Yeah, being British originally. So eclectic cooking background, eclectic wardrobe as well.
Yeah, you got to, right?
You always look so amazing on screen. Is that something you consciously do? Like have a...
Well, I mean, style is part of who we are. You know, cooking, you know, people come to my restaurant because of who we are, how I cook, how our restaurant put it together. And living in Harlem and having a restaurant in Harlem, people are dapper. So much of urban and great cultures in terms of style and food comes from Harlem. Think about supper clubs. When you think about, you know, the whole culture around gospel, R&B, after church, and all of those things. People dressed up, and they still do, you know? So I think it influenced me where I live today in Harlem. The fact that you can go out on the street on Lenox Avenue, almost like a Parisian boulevard, and people are just dapper. So yeah, I'm an ambassador of Harlem at this point. My restaurants are there.
Yeah.
I live there with my wife. So yeah, I want to look
Good
good.
for you, yeah. That shirt is great. I need my sunglasses, but it's amazing.
Is it enough colors and patterns for you?
I think it's enough.
Yeah.
What's next for you? Is it more street food? Is it more high-end restaurants? Where do you think you're going to go next?
Well, right now, next, I'm here to win the next challenge.
Of course,
That's next.
yes.
But I mean, it's such an incredible opportunity to be on the taste and work with Tony and Nigella and Ludo and mentor the contestant. We're having so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm learning about all the great food that LA has. I love all the ethnic food in LA. And for me, it's just a wonderful opportunity to be here. I'm so excited that, who would have thought? I started to chop vegetables in the late 80s as a little intern. And here we are, 8 o'clock on ABC, cooking, for the whole nation to see it. That's the evolution of food today is part of pop culture, and it hasn't always been. So for us as chefs, this is just also an opportunity to show how far food has come in this country. And that's something I don't take for granted. I cherish every opportunity, and I'm very grateful to it.
Good for you. Well, listen, good luck this year.
Thank you. Are you rooting for me?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I've said that to all of them, obviously. Honestly. Well, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Welcome to BELLOMag.com, Nigella Lawson. How you doing?
It's very nice to be here.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
we're
doing well.
On the set of The Taste. Are you having fun this time?
I'm always so fascinated in people, and I try my best always to encourage everyone to do their best. And you have to be prepared in a competition like this that everyone is going to learn at different rates, and they start off at different levels. So it's really very important to treat everyone as an individual and then take it from there. But then, of course, I've got my boys to keep under control, and that is a challenge but a joy.
I'm honestly the world's worst cook, and I don't just say that because I'm here for effect. I'm really...
I have heard.
I'm not the best, it has to be said. I mean, can you teach someone to be a good cook, do you think? Or is it something that you're kind of born with and you've got that skill? And
You like food.
I love food, yeah.
And when you're at a restaurant, you can tell whether something is good or not.
Yeah, pretty much, I think so.
Well, if you have a palate, you can learn to cook.
Right.
Because you can't teach someone a palate. You can teach someone to make their palate broader and more refined at the same time, because some people have eaten so few sorts of food that they won't know how to cook a lot of the food that they have to on a show like this. But if you like food and you are interested in seeing how ingredients react with one another, you can learn to cook.
I am on your shows because they all make a gorgeous noise and stuff when I've seen your...
Well, the sound is very important when you can't actually smell or eat food.
Right,
But the thing is that I think a lot of people think they can't cook because chefs, fabulous though they are, make food seem a lot more complicated than it need be. And actually, if you're just about wanting to cook food that tastes great, you don't need to have a huge array of skills. I mean, my knife skills are just shameful, and yet it has never stopped me from making the food that I want to eat and the food that I can make people happy with. So I think that a lot of people feel they can't cook because they think cooking is more complicated.
They're intimidated, aren't they? Whereas your style is quite intimate, isn't it?
It is, and I think actually the food that speaks to people most profoundly is home cooking. And you ask someone what they want for a last meal, they're going to say like a roast chicken and mashed potatoes, or I don't know, something that just reminds them of home and is comforting, really good meat sauce, or a really beautiful spaghetti with tomato sauce. They're not going to say an eggplant and phyllo stack with a pomegranate foam.
It's the stuff on the menu, you don't even know what it means, and you're having to Google on your phone going, what's that ingredient? I don't even understand that.
Food isn't there to impress people. Food is there to sustain us and to make people happy and to reinforce us in our sense of gratitude at being alive. And if it doesn't do that, if you just feel slightly overawed or else panicked, that's not a good thing. Now, of course, there are great chefs like Ludo who cook food that is so incredibly rarefied on the one hand, and yet so down to earth in its impact, the flavour on another.
Yeah.
But those are the great chefs. I think there are many more bad chefs than there are bad cooks.
Yeah.
And most people can cook, and they are intimidated into thinking cooking is something other than it is.
Yeah. And if in doubt, I guess, and you're in a restaurant, something is a little bland. I know you yourself have a little tip to take mustard, don't you, in your handbag?
And salt. And I take, my purse has always got really good sea salt flakes,
Yeah.
and also mustard.
Yeah.
But actually, salt is such an important ingredient. You can cook something brilliantly. If you don't put enough salt on it, it's worthless. You can't taste everything. I think as well that really it's all about, well, it's common sense really. You want an interplay of texture.
Yeah.
You want food to be balanced. Food is very much like life, which is you need balance, and actually it is much easier to find in the kitchen than out of the kitchen. So
Yeah.
I advise cooking as a way of...
You've lured me in
feeling
now. I feel like I'm going to have to go and get a recipe book and get my pots and pans out.
But you know what I also think makes cooking hard for people? And I say this knowing that I write recipe books, but that they feel they have to go recipe. Really, you just take one recipe and you cook it so often till it's in your bloodstream, and then you find you're fiddling about with it and altering the spicing and maybe altering some of the ingredients without really being aware that you're doing that, and then you're cooking. Because cooking really is about being spontaneous, but you can't be spontaneous until you understand some of the structure and some of the rules.
You're right. Good tips there. Well, listen, I hope some of your pupils, students have managed to pick up some of your tips, and that you potentially could be a winner this season. Good luck with everything. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nigella.
Thank you.